Raptors take care of business on their home floor. Winners of now 5 straight games. And these boys are feeling good. I mean, there's a couple guys on the team that aren't feeling good. And we'll talk about them a little bit later on. But the Raptors do get the win at home against the Philadelphia 76ers. The Joel Embiid-less Philadelphia 76ers. 107-95. And the defensive intensity in the second, third, and fourth quarter, ridiculously good by the Toronto Raptors. I mean, they were doing a great job. In the first quarter, it was shaky. And let's talk about that first quarter. Raptors were -9, 35-26. But as we've kind of learned from this team, it's not about, how they get out go in the first quarter, even the first half for that matter. As the game goes on, this team adjusts, they learn about what the opponent's doing, and they take them down. And that's what we learned today. First quarter, they were doing a lot of dribble drive, kicking to knock down wide open threes. The Raptors defensively were awful. They were missing their switches. They were missing their assignments altogether. And it was just a rough first quarter. 35 given up. All right. Now, this is where things get real fun. In the second quarter, Raptors offense, again, still not going too good. However, the defense really picks up the slack as they allow only 15 points in that second quarter. Raptors scored 24. They're +9. You guys can do the math all you want. We're tied at 50 at halftime. So you know what? After being down 9 at the end of one and really not finding anything offensively in that second quarter, the defense really brings forth what this team is all about. Yes, they didn't have Embiid, and yes, they did lose Josh Richardson early in this game, and that is a big blow to their team. So when you saw that happen, plus that first quarter, you needed this team to respond. You needed the Raptors to go out there today and do a job. It took them a little bit. It took a lot of grinding and fighting, but they found a way to get it done. In that third quarter, I think the Raptors were down at one point by 5 or 6. But again, they came back, they clawed back, made some big shots, and Fred VanVleet, once again, he learns early on what it's all about. Who's the team he struggled against in the playoffs last year? Well, I don't think he did too well against Orlando, but he did not do well against Philly at all. And why? Because he tried to drive a lot, and he tried to get inside. He tried to do that again today, but he really struggled. You know why? Because that team is extremely long. Even without Joel Embiid, that team is extremely long, and they can block shots, and their interior defense is really good. And you look at the way Fred VanVleet got quite a few of his points today. I mean, how many did Freddie have today? He had 22, but it felt like a lot more. He shot 8 of 17. But he was 6 of 7 from 3. He was electric behind the arc, making some big shots in the third and fourth quarter. Freddie V, Steady Freddie, was unbelievable today. He was remarkable. And in that third quarter, Raptors +4, 26-22, a big late third quarter surge. It was like a 14-5 run of them, or something along those lines. In the latter half of that third quarter, it was a 4:50 to go. They had a 14-5 run the rest of the way, and they were able to grab that 4-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Now, Philly, a very good defensive ball club in the fourth quarter, so you got to find a way to make most of your opportunities and continue the defensive intensity as the Raptors had in the second and third quarter. They only allowed 22 there in that third quarter. Big time there. In the fourth, doesn't change, except this time, the Raptors break down them defensively and make a lot of big shots. 31 points for the Raptors in that fourth quarter, the most scored in the ball game for the Raptors, and they only scored 23. After that first quarter, ladies and gentlemen, the Raptors hold them to something like 68 points in the 3 quarters. I mean, it was a really good job. I know I was probably 55 or something, but nonetheless, it's not much. It was a great job by this team all around in the third and fourth quarter. Second quarter was still kind of sloppy, but in that third, in the fourth, they seemed to start finding themselves. You saw Serge really activate himself defensively. When Norman Powell's out there, you know what that guy's going to bring. The second unit brought fantastic energy when they were out there in that third. And I just loved what we saw from guys like Fred VanVleet today, because with Fred playing so well, it allowed Lowry to rest a little bit more. He did play 35 minutes today, but again, against a big team like Philly, the fact that Lowry didn't play north 40 is not bad. I'll take that any day. And he really struggled shooting the ball, did Lowry. 5 of 12 from the field and 0 of 5 from 3 for Kyle Lowry. So a really rough game there. But you come away with a 12-point victory. Yes, they didn't have Embiid. Yes, they didn't have Richardson for the entirety of this game, more or less. But you won the game, and that's what matters. I mean, you can say all you want about who was missing who, blah, blah, blah. We already went through this, Raptor fans, where we have that excuse. Now, a lot of the times you don't want to use that excuse, but when times come and glaring issues happen, that was an issue. But I do have to say, if I'm giving credit at all to somebody on Philly, it is Ben Simmons. This guy, without Joel Embiid, runs the floor. And you can see how good he can be, but there's also a lot of times where he passes up a lot of easy shots. I saw one in the fourth quarter, led to a missed three, where he kind of bodied some guy and got one of our defenders and got around him and had basically an easy layup, no defenders in front of him, nothing, but he decided to kick it out for a three. And like they said, they missed the three, the Raptors get the rebound, and that's that. When he's got a shot, he's got to take it. He can't be extremely over-passive, you know? But again, like I said, we know he can't shoot the ball from the perimeter, so he's got to, it's like Giannis, but not as good, if that makes any sense. So that's just my opinion on that game, guys, but I want to go down through the stats here. 46% from the field for the Raptors. You saw the way this first quarter went for this team. You didn't really think that was going to happen, but 46% from the field. The big one, 38% from Philly, and that is after a 35-point first quarter. So it was a remarkable defensive job there in the final three quarters. 39% from the three for 39% from three for the Raptors. 13 for 33. They were 39% as well, but they took 46. But they made 18 threes, so a big number there for them. From the line, Raptors really struggled. 14 for 21. 67% from the free throw line. Not very pretty. That's got to clean up. That's been a problem lately, at least from what I've been seeing. But especially in this game, he had a lot of big free throws that they missed. Now, they didn't do a whole lot better. They were 13 of 18, only 72%, so you give us that. In the rebounding stats, I mean, Raptors did a job on the glass, especially in that fourth quarter. A lot of big rebounds because they're fighting for loose balls, fighting for that extra possession. Raptors were there to clean up the mess, grab the board, and turn it to offense. It was an incredible fourth quarter. 53-45 there on the glass and 8-8 in the offensive rebounding category. 25 assists for the Raptors. We always talk about it, that 25 number. Anytime you get north that, you have a really good chance of winning ball games. And the Raptors, they moved the ball really well today at 27. They had 25. We came away with a victory. That's all that matters in the long run. 6 steals to their 8, 3 blocks to their 6. Only 12 turnovers for the Raptors. They had 13. And points in the paint dominated, absolutely dominated by the Toronto Raptors. 52-20. I mean, they were taking a crap load of threes, as you guys heard. I mean, 46 threes is a lot. Now, obviously, with that being said, 46 threes, they had 84 field goals attempts, so like over half of them. So there you go. There's the number right there. And they obviously, with that being said, points in the paint are going to be very low, but we crushed them by 32 points in that points in the paint category. So big job there. Second chance points, well, the offensive boards were 8-8, but Raptors won that category 14-9, so a big job there. And in the fast break, 22-17 in favor of Philly in the fast break. With guys like Ben Simmons, he just runs the floor extremely well. So that's just, I mean, that's just the way he works, you know. And just an incredible game, you know. It wasn't pretty. You know, I wouldn't say this was a picturesque, perfect game for the Toronto Raptors, but I wouldn't say it was an ugly game, if that makes any sense to you guys. I mean, look, it wasn't a picture-perfect offensive performance, how we put it that way, because defensively, you saw the way this team played the final 3 quarters of this basketball game. You play like that against any team at any level, where it's first round, second round, conference finals, playoffs, or finals, whatever, that type of defense will win you basketball games. But you need your offense to keep going. And it was a little sluggish today, but they found a way to play it as really, really hard defensively and hold an extremely good offensive ball club to 95 points. Now, like I said, no Embiid, no Richardson, so they had a tough time finding offense elsewhere, but the Raptors did a job today. And that's really what matters to all of us, right? It's Pascal Siakam. Look, this guy's forcing shots like crazy. I love Pascal. I love what he did before his injury, but since he's come back, he seems to be trying to do way too much. 8 for 23 from the field today. 1 of 8 from 3. A lot of tough shots. I mean, there were a couple ones that seemed down and then popped out. But again, you know, a lot of easy bunnies on the inside that he's just not making. Now, ideally, like we talked about, Philly's a very good team when it comes to being, you know, in that painted area. When it comes to defense, holy smokes, defending. That's what I was going for. But the Raptors did a good job. You know, Siakam struggled, 1 or 2 from the line as well. Had a double-double, 18 and 15, 3 assists as well, but really struggled percentage-wise from the field and from 3. Had a steal in the ball game, was a -1 while he was on the floor, so not the greatest night for him. And OG Anunoby, look, guys, I'm starting to lose a little faith in OG. I love the guy defensively. I think we can all agree that OG Anunoby defensively is one of the elite ones. I mean, you saw a lot of great defensive plays today, but his shot and his offensive abilities, I don't know if he's got it. When you see him off the dribble, he looks really shaky, really erratic with the ball. And consistency is never there. He was 0 of 3. He didn't get a single point today. He missed the 1-3. He had a steal in the ball game, blocking the game. It was a -13 when he was on the floor. Only played 21 minutes. You know, he's not playing very good basketball right now. Nick Nurse is obviously seeing that and not playing him a lot. So that's really that. Marc Gasol, this guy was unbelievable. Only played 25 minutes because Serge Ibaka was playing at such a high rate. And with Marc Gasol playing a lot lately, you want to give the other guys some time as well. But I love what we saw from Gasol. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 of 7 shooting, 3 of 3 from 3. Had a steal in the ball game. He was a -3, was on the floor. But what a great job from Marc Gasol offensively. In that second quarter, he was leading the team in points. I mean, 17 is obviously a big number in the second, but he was making shots. He was creating offense. He was doing an amazing job against Al Horford. I mean, he really made Horford space the floor. And what that does is it removes Horford from the paint and allows other guys to get inside. And that was a huge key to that part there early in the ball game. And where are we here? Yeah, Kyle Lowry, we already talked about him. 5 of 12, 0 of 5 from 3, 6 of 9 from the free throw line. So not a pretty game offensively for Lowry. 16 points, 3 boards, 4 assists as well. It was a +6 while he was on the floor, but again, really struggled offensively did Kyle Lowry. Fred VanVleet, the player of the game in this one, no doubt about it. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists on 8 of 17 shooting. Missed the 1 free throw he took, Freddie. And it was 6 of 7 from 3. What a great job from Fred VanVleet today. Had 1 steal in the ball game. Good job by him, and a +2 while he was on the floor. Norman Powell was a little bit off today. You're not Norman Powell-esque. I'm just playing, guys. Powell had 18 points, 8 rebounds on 6 of 11 shooting, 5 of 6 from 3, 1 of 5. No, hold on. Am I wrong here? These numbers seem a little off. No, I'm right. He was 1 of 5 from 3, but Powell getting inside the paint, guys. Remarkable. +23 while Powell was on the floor. The guy was electric on both ends of the basketball. He was remarkable, all right? And Serge Ibaka, big night for him. I really like it. Was for me, I don't know if you guys felt this way as well. It was a very quiet night for Serge. Other than that dunk and one later in the game and the big-time 3 that he hit as well, I thought he was very quiet. I thought he had like a couple points or whatever, but he ends up doing a good job. 16 points, 7 boards, couple assists, +20. Or he only played 27 minutes, 6 of 9 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, 2 of 3 from the line, 2 steals for Serge, and a +24 while he was on the floor. So Serge Ibaka played a ridiculously good game today, and I was impressed with both our bigs. Both guys played incredible. They combined for 33, and they shoot very efficient. Really good job by the bigs today. Obviously, with no Joel Embiid, you got to use that, and they did today. It was a really good job by the Raptors. Now, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson didn't get a point, was 0 of 3, but the energy he brought and a couple assists. One was a really nice assist to Fred VanVleet as he was falling down. But 0 of 3 shooting, no points in the game for Rondae, but he's a +11 while he's on the floor, so I'm not going to complain. Terrence Davis, same thing, no points. He had 6 rebounds and 3 assists on 0 of 1 shooting. Didn't make the one shot he took, was a +11 while he was on the floor. So this is what I'm saying. Your guys, Rondae and Terrence Davis, shot 0 of 4 combined. They didn't get any points in 27 minutes. However, they had 8 boards and 5 assists, and they were combined +22. So I know they didn't score any points, but they helped the offense, flow. And that's the way it was. They don't have to score 25 and you don't have to do that on this team if you're coming off the bench like that, especially with guys like Powell and Ibaka coming off the bench. They did a really good job tonight. Did Terrence Davis and Rondae working the ball. I didn't like that 1-3 Rondae took. It was early in the shot clock in the corner. I'm like, why the hell is this guy taking a 3? And he did, and he missed it. I mean, but that was a rough one from him. But overall, not a bad basketball game. A very good defense, a very sound defensive game, other than the first quarter. And offensively, still trying to find themselves. I think that's the way where this team is right now. But you know what? We're 30 and 14. Who's complaining? And as I said in the last video, we hear people, we hear the media. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching this video, let's have a real talk for a second here, okay? What does the media always think about Toronto? Well, we always think that they hate us, right? That's what we feel all the time, okay? So in the media, specifically American media, decides to make up some story saying the Raptors are going to try and sell and trade all these players away. Do you believe it? No. If you hear like somebody from Sportsnet or someone from TSN or one of those guys start saying, hey, they're trying to move this guy, or, you know, something like that, then you kind of take a step back and go, okay, hold on a second. But if other than Woj or those guys from TSN Sportsnet, I don't hear anything from those guys, that doesn't mean squat to me. Because why, with a 30-14 team, would you strip down and trade Ibaka, trade Lowry, trade Gasol? Why would you do this? It makes no sense. It really doesn't. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't always believe what you hear unless it's from a reliable source. And do you believe it? I don't right now. I believe this team is going to try and run it back, even though it's going to be very, very difficult to do so. They have to add some pieces. What that may be, I'm not sure. Speaking of a piece we are not a huge fan of, Patrick McCaw left the game actually early in this one with was it a facial contusion or something like that? I think Powell smacked him in the face. He barely played a minute. He didn't even play a minute, it says on the stat line here. So McCaw was out for the entire game, and the Raptors kind of do play very well, which is interesting. So just want to throw that out there for you guys. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the ball game there today, smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the video. Everything you want to talk about when it comes to this Raptors squad, let me know in the comments below. Twitter is down below as well for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, guys. Also, the Patreon link is down below, so if you've not signed up for that, which is pretty much all of you, sign up if you guys are interested. It'd be great. Link is down below for the Patreon account. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition, Leafs edition, the 27th of January, I think it is they're in Nashville taking on the Preds. It's an 8 p.m. Puck drop there in Smashville. As for the Raptors, their next contest, as we've not said actually just yet, it's really weird. They are in New York on Friday, all right, as the Raptors look to continue their winning ways on the road, especially looking for win number, I think it's number 6 in a row, I think they're looking for, or no, I think they're looking for win number 6 in a row. And 6 in a row on the road. So the Raptors are in New York, taking on the Knicks, 7:30 tip-off there, 12-32 New York Knicks. Do I need to say any more? No. So you guys know what needs to happen there on Friday. It's a 7:30 tip-off there at MSG. All right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys then.